All right, so here we're going to be talking about our shoulder functions, and we're going to be talking about our ability to protract and retract our shoulder blade, and being able to do that independently of our elbow bending, right? So when I go to retract my shoulder, I should be capable of doing that without my elbow bending. But a lot of times people go to row and they go to bend their elbow immediately, and their shoulder ends up in this round, dumped forward, tipped forward position, right? So when we row like this, it's kind of causing long-term damage to our shoulder. It's not the most appropriate way for our shoulder to be pulling through this motion. So what we want to learn to do is to be able to pull that shoulder blade back independently. And once I get it back there, then allow my elbow to bend and go through that rowing motion. So I want to be able to retract and then row. Okay, so the other important factor on this is going to be that if I pull my shoulder back, I don't want it to also shrug up to my ear. So that's another compensation that might occur. You might start to get your elbow to stay straight, but now your shoulder is shrugging as you go to pull back. So we want to be able to pull our shoulder down into depression and back into retraction. So down and back, not allowing it to shrug and not forcing the elbow to bend. So down and back. And then once I'm confident with that, I can start to introduce the row and I can start to bend the elbow. But I want to make sure that I'm first able to retract, depress before I go to row. Okay, so once you've gotten the hang of that a little bit, then you can start to do it with a band and you can start to retract and row, retract and row, making sure to keep the shoulder depressed as well. And then you can also grab a second one and you can start to learn to do it with both at the same time. So now I'm retracting with both of my shoulders and rowing, and then I'm going to go forward. I'm going to protract so that I get a nice retraction and then go to row. And then again, when I go to do this, I want to keep in mind that my shoulder isn't dumping forward. So I shouldn't end where my shoulders are forward in front of me like this. I should end where they're kind of back here in that more proud posture. So I should be able to retract, keep my shoulders nice and back as I pull. And I shouldn't see that after I retract that I then like dump my shoulders forward when I go to pull my elbows back. We want to be able to keep that retraction that we've created and keep that proud chest instead of letting that chest kind of sink forward. Okay, so then once you've done that, now we're going to take that same concept to a bent over row with a dumbbell. And I'm going to hold a dumbbell in my hand. I'm going to let my shoulder protract towards the floor, and I'm going to try to retract and depress my shoulder blade without letting that elbow bend. So first, I'm focusing on being capable of doing the shoulder motion. And once I feel pretty confident that I'm doing it without the need to bend that elbow, then I'm going to bend the elbow and pull myself into a row. Okay, so I'm going to go shoulder blade back and down, making sure that it's not going back and up towards my ear, back and down towards my hip, and then bending my elbow and pulling my arm behind my body. Now the other thing to look for there is, again, not letting that shoulder tip. So once I get this back here, once I start to bend my elbow, I don't want my shoulder to start to dump forward into this position right here. I want to be able to keep my shoulder back here and not let it end up in this position. Okay, so I'm going to do that by holding that retraction and depression and trying to keep it held there all the way back, rather than pulling it back there, getting that good, and then like letting it dump forward when I pull my elbow. So I want to be able to keep the shoulder blade back and down and keep it from tipping forward as I pull back. And that is how we're going to work on your ability to row without feeling like you're just bending at your elbow only, right? This is usually what I see when a lot of people first start to try rowing. And you'll notice my shoulder isn't doing anything. It's all my elbow. So I'm basically doing like a bicep curl here. But what I should be doing is pulling my shoulder blade back and then rowing. And then eventually, yes, it does become kind of all one motion. And I don't have to do it piece by piece forever, but I'm going to start piece by piece until I get the muscle memory. And then I'm going to make it all one motion.